Let me out. Take me to the hospital quickly. My husband locked me in the garden shed when labor pains began late at night. Rubbing my aching belly, I was filled with anxiety, fearing that the baby would arrive any moment. Suddenly, screams echoed from our home. Peering through the gap in the shed, I witnessed an unbelievable scene. What's happening? Later, I learned the shocking truth, and anger surged within me. I am Jessica, 30 years old. My husband, Guy, is 3 years older and a senior colleague at the same company. We had an office romance and got married. After retiring, I started working as a part-time office worker in my neighborhood. My younger sister, Serena, lives nearby and often visits after work. Her presence was comforting during my new life filled with uncertainties. My husband's daily phrases became a routine. I might have to work overtime today and I'm heading out. He consistently returned home late. Having worked at the same company, I understood the demands of his job. Although I felt lonely, my main concern was his well-being. I reassured myself that it wouldn't last forever. Despite my worries, my husband's return time kept getting later. He even worked on weekends, leaving me waiting at home. I considered asking former colleagues about the situation, but I wondered how Guy would feel if he found out. Ultimately, I continued waiting for his return every day. And then, my husband's concerning behavior gradually increased during this time. I managed our household finances, and gave my husband an allowance. Although he occasionally went out for social events, I always provided him with enough money each month. One day,
Jessica, I've used up all my allowance. Can you add some more?
I was taken aback. But it hasn't even been half a month. What did you spend it on? Guy always seemed to run out of money, and whenever I asked about how he spent it, he evaded the question. I can't give you more unless you tell me properly.
Okay.
He was seemingly accepting my response. However, the next day, when I saw the credit card bill, I couldn't believe my eyes. Why was it so high? Even when I confronted him with the details, he just apologized without revealing anything substantial. He doesn't share any crucial information. At this rate, we won't be able to save for the future. This situation not only strained our relationship but also added financial worries. I wondered if we could continue as a couple in the long run. The worst thoughts crossed my mind. Perhaps my husband was having an affair. Yet, I lacked the courage to confront him directly. The fear of investigating and being proven right paralyzed me. At that moment, my sister Serena visited. As soon as she saw my face, she asked,
"Do you have something troubling you?"
I hesitated but finally confessed. Actually, Guy's behavior seems suspicious. Serena's eyes narrowed.
You don't mean he's cheating, do you?
I'm not sure yet, but I've been thinking it might be possible. My uncertainty made my words falter. Serena didn't mince hers.
Men who cheat are despicable. You should consider divorce.
Despite her stern tone, I appreciated her concern. Thank you. Talking to you has eased my mind a bit. She assured me.
If anything happens, feel free to ask. I'll even give your husband a piece of my mind.
I smiled and replied, I'll keep that in mind. As she left, I sensed a hint of relief in her expression. Although I still don't have concrete evidence of infidelity, I decided to observe a little longer. Just then, I fell ill and went to the hospital, where I discovered that I was pregnant. My husband's response was,
Oh, I see. That's good.
But he seemed to avoid eye contact. I asked. Aren't you more excited?
No, it's not like that. I'm looking forward to it.
Despite his words, something felt off. He was different from before, and I couldn't shake that feeling. I repeatedly tried to discuss matters with Guy, but he kept brushing it off with excuses like, I'm busy, let's talk later. Time slipped away, leaving me uncertain about what to do. To distract myself from the anxiety, I focused on preparing for our unborn child. And time flew by. I was already in my final month of pregnancy. Despite our ongoing communication issues, the anticipation of meeting our child soon filled me with excitement. On that particular day, a typhoon was forecasted, and the strong winds and rain battered our area. Feeling my belly tighten, I called out to Guy before resting alone in the bedroom. As midnight approached, the pain intensified, and it seemed labor had finally begun. Hey, can you take me to the hospital? My labor has started, I said, gently cradling my abdomen. Guy, who had been looking at his phone, muttered.
Seriously?
He sprang up, grabbed my arm, and hurried toward the front door. I tried to calm him down, saying, You don't need to rush. The baby won't arrive immediately. But his expression remained stern. Without hesitation, he led me outside and pushed me into the storage room in the garden, slamming the door shut.
Stay here,
He commanded, his face intense. Wait, what are you doing? Let me out. Take me to the hospital. I shouted desperately, unable to comprehend what was happening. But there was no response from my husband, and his footsteps faded into the distance. What should I do? I clutched my aching belly, immobilized for a while. Yet, I knew the baby was in danger if I stayed here. Suppressing my anxiety, I pondered how to escape this place. That's right. Maybe. I peered outside through the small window in the storage room. To my surprise, I saw Guy in the living room, chatting amiably with a woman. The curtains were wide open, revealing everything even in the late hour. Wait, who is that person? My husband had locked me in the storage room while entertaining this woman inside. Was this irrefutable evidence of his infidelity? Despite our imminent child's arrival, I felt lost, facing the harsh reality without any way to call for help. And then it happened. From my home, I heard a woman scream. What's going on now? I snapped back to reality and looked into the living room through the window. There, not only Guy but also the other woman's face became unmistakably clear. Wait, why? Is this a joke? My muttered voice felt hollow as shock and abdominal pain blurred my consciousness, almost causing me to faint. How much time passed? Eventually, the storage room door opened, and someone rescued me. The next day, I safely gave birth to a healthy baby girl. Learning the astonishing truth, an indescribable anger surged within me. I'll never forgive the person. And so, I began preparing for retribution. A week later, my husband and I visited my parents' home. My father welcomed us, saying,
Welcome. We've been waiting.
My parents and sister Serena greeted us with smiles. Dad, Mom, meet your first grandchild. Hold her. In my arms, the baby slept peacefully. On that day, I proudly introduced our child, having just been discharged from the hospital. Everyone was smitten with the baby, especially my mother, whose eyes remained teary with joy. As I observed this heartwarming scene, I sat up straight in a chair, ready for the next chapter of my life. Today, I have something important to share. It might take a while, but will you listen?
What's going on? Why the sudden formality?
My parents' once smiling faces grew serious as they looked at me. I proceeded to recount the night during the typhoon when Guy locked me in the storage room. My father was taken aback.
What? Why would he do such a thing?
My mother remained speechless, covering her mouth with both hands. Meanwhile, Guy kept his head down, refusing to speak. My father demanded,
What's your intention, Guy? Speak up.
Even my sister Serena chimed in.
Exactly. Treating a pregnant woman like that is despicable. Maybe you should consider leaving this man?
Despite the collective condemnation, Guy remained silent. I explained. Through the small window in the storage room, I saw another woman inside our house, and Guy was talking to her. My father's anger flared.
Are you cheating? You. How could you do this?
He lunged at Guy, but I quickly intervened, stopping him in his tracks. Listen carefully, Dad. It might take a while to explain. But when I heard a woman scream, everything changed.
See? It's definitely tied to infidelity.
His face turned crimson, and his fists trembled, clearly enraged by the harm done to his daughter. Given that I initially thought the same way, it's understandable. But I continued in a calm, composed voice. But when I saw the woman's face, I couldn't make sense of it anymore.
What do you mean?
Both my parents exchanged confused glances. You see, the woman Guy was talking to that day was Serena. My father's confusion deepened.
What? How is that possible?
It seems that my parents became even more confused, glancing back and forth between my sister and my husband's faces. Serena remained silent, avoiding eye contact. My father demanded answers, slamming the table.
Tell us the reason.
Finally, Guy broke his silence.
Actually, Serena was threatening me.
His eyes met my parents', revealing the shocking truth.
Look at this.
My husband placed a photo on the table. As soon as my father picked it up, he trembled.
What's going on? Explain.
My father glared at Guy, his anger palpable. And no wonder, the photo showed Guy and Serena walking closely together. I calmed my father and urged him to listen to the whole story.
This is from when I helped a drunk Serena. The photo doesn't show it, but my colleagues were there too.
Guy explained. My father hesitated.
Is that true?
Yes. If you can confirm it, you'll understand right away. So please believe me.
Guy's serious expression seemed to calm my father a bit. As it turns out, shortly after our marriage, Guy encountered Serena on the way home from a drinking party in the bustling city. Serena was so intoxicated that her friends struggled to manage her. Guy, considering her his sister-in-law, extended a helping hand.
The truth is, after marrying Jessica, Serena confessed her feelings to me.
Guy continued.
Of course, I firmly rejected her each time.
My parents were puzzled by my husband's thorough explanation of the events leading up to this point, as he spoke while looking at them. According to him, Serena, who had feelings for Guy, seemed to have fallen in love at first sight when she saw my husband at the family gathering. This photo too was taken by a friend who knows your feelings for fun, right? Ignoring the question, Serena remained silent, but I pressed on. And then you used this blatantly suspicious photo as leverage to threaten Guy, right? My husband pushed my sister away, claiming that everything was baseless. He even tried to discuss her feelings and the photo with me immediately. However, Serena had pushed him into a corner, saying things like,
If you won't be with me, I'll end my life.
or,
If you tell Jessica, I'll drag her down too.
although he didn't take her seriously, he couldn't risk any harm coming to me. You exploited Guy's kindness, acting selfishly. I told Serena.
So what?
She finally looked up, smiling wryly.
Maybe Guy wasn't entirely indifferent?
She suggested. Guy retorted.
No way. It was pure agony.
Since then, he'd been at Serena's beck and call, summoned after work daily, unable to return home. But that wasn't all. Guy's perpetual financial struggles were due to Serena coercing him into buying things. You manipulated him, making him late and reckless with money, all to create suspicion of infidelity and provoke conflict between us. I explained.
Well, what's going on?
She pretended to listen to my concerns. Her words, "Why don't you divorce Guy?" were actually heartfelt, and deep down, she was probably smirking, knowing that things were going her way.
Isn't this just your paranoia?
She chuckled, crossing her legs on the sofa. Perhaps she believed she was the chosen one, looking down on me with a triumphant air. I retorted. Guy won't come to you, no matter what. He's only following your instructions to keep me safe.
That's impossible.
She stood up, confronting Guy with anger.
Hey, Guy. She's lying, right?
It's true.
No way. Didn't you fall for me?
I've never said I liked you. There's a 0% chance I ever will.
His tone was flat and resolute as he pushed Serena away. She muttered something about how awful it was and collapsed right there. After observing my sister's distress, she turned her gaze toward me.
Enough with the drama. There's no evidence that I threatened Guy, right? He could be lying, couldn't he?
Even at this point, she defiantly fired back.
That's impossible.
Despite his struggle, I restrained him with my hand. Then how about this? I said, pulling out my smartphone and playing a certain video. On the screen, Guy and my sister were captured in a heated exchange inside the house during the time I was locked in the storage room. Serena's voice echoed.
When will you break up with Jessica? Marry me already.
And then, chillingly,
Where is she? I'll make her Miss Gary. Even if the baby is born, I'll end it myself.
those were the chilling words she uttered, one after another. Isn't this considered a threat? I challenged.
It's surveillance. Violating my rights like this.
My sister continued to argue with me, her voice rising. This footage is from the surveillance camera I set up for the baby. It happened to capture this. I explained. In the midst of labor pains, I hadn't had time to record it, but later, I remembered the camera and checked. The evidence was there.
Baby, what's the big deal?
She grabbed my arm, shaking me vigorously, frustration etched on her face.
If only there was no child, Guy would be mine.
Actually, on that evening, my sister and I exchanged emails. I messaged her, nervous about giving birth soon. She replied,
Looking forward to it. Cheering you on.
But in reality, my email had pushed my sister's irritation to its peak. Frustrated with the unchanging relationship with Guy, she sent him a message,
Saying everything to Jessica. I'm coming over now.
worried about my safety. My husband, unable to hide me elsewhere, quickly locked me in the storage room. When my sister arrived, he ensured she wouldn't harm me physically by claiming I was already at the hospital. After Serena left, it was Guy who helped me, taking me to the hospital. Thinking back, if I had screamed for help during that moment, both my unborn child and I might have been in danger. I've already told him everything I witnessed, and Guy told me everything about until then. My sister clenched her fist, trembling with anger.
This is ridiculous. Just because you met him first doesn't mean you can act all high and mighty. Even though you're not more beautiful than me.
She hurled hurtful words at me.
Anyway, I'm the one suitable for him. Deep down, Guy must feel the same way.
Are you even aware of what you're saying?
Shut up.
Serena glared at me, but then she turned her tear-filled eyes toward my husband.
Hey, Guy. It's not too late. Divorce this woman.
My sister pressed on relentlessly. Despite her advances, Guy involuntarily stepped back. I too felt a chilling fear from her resentful expression.
I'll say it as many times as needed. My wife is Jessica.
Guy asserted.
But why stay with her? There's no point clinging to her. If you want a child, I'll bear it for you.
Serena pleaded, her hair disheveled, desperately clinging to Guy. Was this the true face of my once gentle, adorable sister? Filled with helplessness, I intervened between Guy and my sister. From now on, our family of 3 will find happiness. Don't interfere, I said coldly.
You're annoying. You're not even part of this conversation. Seriously, just disappear.
Serena persisted, pushing me away.
Enough.
Finally, our silent father raised his voice.
Serena, you're truly pathetic. We're cutting ties with you as our child. Leave now.
Dad, are you kidding?
She probably never imagined hearing those words. Growing frantic, she paced the room, scratching her head. We want nothing to do with you anymore. I don't even consider you my sister, I declared.
No. Absolutely not. Is this okay with both Mom and Dad? And I'm cuter than Jessica, right?
Desperate, she clung to Dad, but he avoided eye contact.
The decision is final.
Hey. Jessica, say something to Dad and Mom. It's all your fault.
Fed up with Serena's arrogance, I intervened. We're not just cutting ties, we'll file a restraining order against you, I said coldly.
What? You can't.
For the safety of our child, it's necessary, I replied. Tears streamed down her face.
Jessica, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I'll be all alone if I can't see everyone.
But given everything, forgiveness was impossible. I can't trust you anymore. Reflect on your actions alone. When I pushed her away, my sister cried out like a child and collapsed from her knees. Afterward, we went through legal proceedings, and a restraining order was issued against Serena. As a precaution, we decided to move to a new place. Our parents also severed ties with her, and despite her repeated attempts to seek forgiveness by visiting my parents' home, she was always turned away. Over time, she stopped coming, and now no one knows where my sister is. Meanwhile, the three of us live peacefully in our new home. With more to protect, my husband works harder than ever. And I'm committed to supporting Guy firmly in the days ahead.
How did you find this story? Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.